Well, I give you a caution up front. This is probably going to be one of the longest videos I've ever made. So, here we go. Morning all. I got a few things I want to do today, but first, I got to wait for the ground to dry up. It's still fairly early in the morning, but yeah, the grass really doesn't need mowed, but I guess what I want to do is go ahead and remow this front yard. Yeah, there's a lot of where it was fairly tall last time I mowed. I couldn't mow the way I usually like, and I left a lot of brown dead grass. So I think I'm going to go around and just try to mulch all this stuff back in. Yeah, if you look at it from the road up, yeah, you can see them brown streaks pretty good. Here's a pretty good example over here. So yeah, I want to remow it this afternoon. So second thing I want to do, this is my old weed whacker. I let the neighbor mow with use it because he has one of them curved head ones, and he really doesn't like it. And I said, well, I got this one barely running, and I let him use it, and he likes the straight head. I think he's going to buy him one, but for now, this thing is really hard to start. It takes about 20 pulls to get it running, and then you got to let it idle and warm up before you can even hit the gas. But I was looking for my spare battery charger the other day, and I happened to see this sitting up on the shelf, and I thought, well, is that the old one or a new one? It's actually a brand new one. So yeah, I'm going to throw this on here, and then if I get this running well enough, and I need to test it out. So what I'm thinking about is just riding the mule, laying that weed whacker across the seat, across my lap, and go down that path and just use it to trim the tall weeds out of the path. So we're going to give that a try, but that'll be this afternoon. All right, well, I'm getting ready to replace the carb on this guy because he's really hard to start. I got everything out here I think I'm going to need. Yeah, it's going to be a little windy, but I want to try to film this. But first, let me show you what this thing's like trying to start. Not quite sure. It's got about a half a tank of gas in it. There's fuel in the bulb, but I'm going to go ahead and I watch this line and get all the air bubbles out of it. All right, that looks pretty clear there. We'll put the choke on, and here we go. Well, that actually wasn't too bad. I may go ahead and swap carbs anyhow, clean this one up, put it back in my box for a spare. Sorry about the wind. First thing I want to do, I'm going to disconnect the fuel line, and we're going to run the gas out of this carb. Still got gas in the bowl, but I believe that's just a return line. Pull the return line off. I'm going to find a rag, hang on, and pump that gas out of that bowl. So that carb should be empty now. All right. we're ready to swap carbs. Again, sorry about the wind. So the new carb kit comes with 2 fuel lines, which I shouldn't need because I just replaced them recently. 2 gaskets, the carburetor, 2 push bulbs, and 2 filters. And I believe I changed the filter also last time I worked on this. So we'll put all this back in the box. We'll probably use, depending on the gaskets, but definitely going to swap the carb. So I get you over here where you can see. So the first thing we got to do is remove the air filter. We're going to clean that up with some carb cleaner. And there's 2 screws. Got to set this to remove. Loosen these up. Take one all the way out. And remove the other one. There's a gasket. And guess what? There ain't no gasket on this side. I bet you that's my problem. I only had 1 gasket on there. So you got to fandangle this guy out. Yeah. Okay, which way does this go? Maybe there. There we go. So there's your carb off. And didn't have a gasket on this side. I bet you that's my problem. So I guess we will reuse the gaskets. I need so this is the gasket that came off, and it's got 2 small holes, and the new gasket only has 1. Let me check. I may end up, let me clean this one up. I'm going to reuse it. All right, I got that gasket cleaned up. I'm gonna spray this area off a little bit. All right. First, we got to fandangle the throttle. This is the part. Come on, get around the corner. I may edit this part out, don't know yet. There we go. All right, that looks right. Okay. This gasket goes this way, all right, and then this other gasket. Let me do a little bit more cleanup on this part. Okay, so I'm checking out this gasket here. If I put it on this way, then this little vent hole is open to the air. But if I flip it over, and that little vent hole is in the closed. I'm going to go with that for right now. So let me get all these gaskets lined up. The first thing I did was I put the screws through, and I've got the outside gasket installed. So now we'll put the screws through the carburetor. Okay, and then we put the other gasket on behind it. So this is what I'm looking at right now. So now I'm going to go ahead, mount it to the engine. Get them started. Okay, looking good. Tighten them up a little bit. Alright, I'm going to clean the air filter up now. So I just used carb cleaner on it. Install it kind of. Alright. Now we hook up the fuel lines. Black one goes on bottom and the clear one goes on top. It should be able to pump gas now. And there it is. There's pump it till I don't see any air bubbles. All right, let's see how this one starts. Choke. Got to adjust the idle now. All right, takes a Phillips screwdriver for this. All right, now we get it running and see where it's at. Where it's not turning the head. Looks like I got it. I will put that other carb away because I think they're about the same. Sorry, that last part you might not have heard. Yeah, you want to adjust the idle to where the head doesn't spin, and then but it stays running. But yeah, I'm going to put that other carb in the box with all the bits we didn't use. Let's do a hot start here. It's a little slow on the throttle response, but to adjust that, it's these two little screws down here. But you don't want to play with them until you got this nice and warm. So, but I think for now, I think it's going to work. All right, well, I don't have a real good placement for my second GoPro, so we're going to try it there. I can't really see how it's going to work, but this one I want to put up here, and that should work there. So yeah, let me put some gas in this weed whacker and we'll go try it out. think I'm gonna have to walk and use this. Mule's just not working. I'm in low gear. So yeah, you get the idea of what I want to do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to walk. Mule's not working for me. Can't weed whack and drive at the same time. Alright, played around, screws. Still needs a little bit. Them adjustments are finicky. Yeah, them things, you barely turn them. It just takes, you gotta hold it wide open to get this outside one right. And then the inside one's, I guess, an idle mix. But yeah, let's do another warm start. And I'm gonna let it sit out here and cool down and then do a cold start. Yeah, we're gonna leave it right there. Let me let it cool down and see how hard it may be to start once it's cool. All right, I brought it in the shop to let it cool down. That one up there, that's my newer one. That's the one I use all the time, and that's the spare. But we're gonna let him cool down. I got the air hose out because I'm fixing to go remow the front yard. That way I can blow the mower off once I'm done. Well, honestly, the yard's looking a lot better, but I got a problem. So I mowed in a right-hand circle, and as the deck clog built up, basically it was pushing, the front of the deck was pushing these mounds. So yeah, so what I do is I'd raise the deck and do a left-hand turn, and this is what comes out from in front of the deck. So I'm just going to rake this middle part and go pick all this stuff up. Yeah, there was no mulch in that end. So what do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 piles to pick up. Yeah, we're going to leave Hulk 2 running this time. Well, it's not perfect, especially in the middle, but it's 100% better than what it was. So yeah, I guess I could use a bagger. I'm gonna go dump that, and then we're gonna do a cold start and call this video done. All right, well, I got the front yard pretty much sorted. It's looking a lot better than what it was. Yeah, that was a lot of dried grass left over from last time. Backyard's not near as bad, so I'm not going to worry about it until next time it needs mowed. Little trailer's emptied, and I'm going to wait on a little bit more shade before I clean this deck off and put him away. But for the last part of this video, this guy's been sitting in the AC for at least 3 hours, so let's do a cold start. Yeah, make sure no air bubbles still. Okay, choke. Well, that's about as cold a start as I'm going to give it. I guess that's about normal for him. But yeah, we're done. I'm going to put this videos together, and I'll let the neighbor use this some more. Thanks for watching.